I am dining at every restaurant in Epcot's World Showcase, and today we're checking out Spice Road Table. Located in Morocco, this restaurant is serving up Mediterranean small plates such as house-made hummus fries, fried calamari, and spicy shrimp. With a limited menu and beautiful outdoor dining space, is this restaurant worth checking out on your next trip to Epcot? Let's go find out. We are here in Morocco, just outside of Spice Road Table, which, believe it or not, is tied with Le Cellier and Monsieur Paul for the second best restaurant in the World Showcase with a 4.1 star rating on Yelp. And I know, kind of hard to believe. In the past, this restaurant hasn't been my favorite, but we'll see. Maybe it's gotten better. Let's head inside. Now, like I mentioned, I have dined here a handful of times. The first time I dined here, I didn't think it was that bad. And then the next two times, I was not impressed. And in between the last time I dined here and today, I've stopped at the walk-up bar, which they have available. You just walk in the restaurant and you're able to get any drink from the bar. And they do have a full bar as well as their specialty cocktails. And I swear, no matter what drink I get from this bar, I am just not a fan. And since I already know I don't like any of these beverages, I will not be getting one, but I still want to show you the menu here. We've got some mimosas, this Medina mixer, a Sahara spritz, this pomegranate acai, as well as an iced mint tea, some wine, some beer, and then some non-alcoholic beverages. And for to drink, I did decide to get the non-alcoholic iced mint tea. Hopefully this is just as light and refreshing as it looks. Let's try it out. Yeah, that tastes like Colgate mixed with super, super sweet iced tea. That is not light and refreshing. It's the opposite of that. Would not order again. I just will never understand why places go way overboard with the artificial mint flavor. Like, just a little bit of mint is all you need, especially when it's that artificial mint flavor. Like I said, it's a no for me. Well, the drink was not successful, but let's hope the food is. We'll take a look over the menu here, and you can see it's all pretty much small plates. They don't have any full entrees. So we have this seasonal veggies with spiced chickpeas and couscous. We have the house-made hummus fries, fried calamari, a grilled lamb kefta, trio pitakia, which is a cheese-filled phyllo, non-spreads, spicy shrimp, pomegranate chili, crispy cauliflower, spiced chicken, some grape leaves, and then the sampler here. So as you can see, you're not going to find anything like super filling here. Usually when restaurants have like a bunch of appetizers, they'll have a couple of entrees as well, like at Wine Bar George. Their menu is primarily like appetizers, but they also have a few entrees that are fantastic. Here, we've just got the apps, and you notice there are 4 vegan plant-based appetizers for you to choose from. So I've got to imagine if you are vegan, this must be a pretty good place for you to come dine. And I am going to try and order a good mix of plant-based items as well as non-plant-based items. I think I have a good idea of what I'm going to order to kind of mix things up and try a lot of different things. Starting with the Spice Road Table sampler, this has a lamb kefta with tzatziki, spiced chicken, and tripotikia for $15. I feel like this is kind of the best way to try the most things on the menu, and we are going to start by trying the cheese-filled phyllo with a cucumber and tomato relish. Now, this only says it's stuffed with cheese, but if I had to assume what cheese, I would say it's probably going to be feta cheese. Let's try it out. The flavor is really good, but you guys heard me bite down on that. There is no crunch on this whatsoever, which I feel like phyllo dough usually has some kind of crunch to it. I would say it probably is most likely feta cheese in there, but I feel like this is kind of dry. Like, it's in need of some kind of dipping sauce. I'm not sure what kind of dipping sauce. Maybe some tzatziki would be good with this. And actually, I do have some tzatziki on my plate, so I might go for a little dip in there and see if that makes it a little bit better. Definitely a bit better. I need this to be crispier, and I also need it served with a sauce. To give you a full idea on how non-crispy this is, I picked up the other one, and you can see it's just not crispy at all. Let's try the spiced chicken next. It's served with a mint yogurt and tabbouleh. I'm assuming this is gonna taste similar to like chicken that you'd get on like some type of gyro. The tabbouleh here is kind of adding an unnecessary grainy texture to the dish, and there's barely any of it on the dish. So like it's kind of unnecessary. The chicken itself, you can tell it's been marinated in probably some Greek yogurt and some Moroccan spices. It's not super flavorful. All of the flavor is coming from that yogurt sauce on the bottom, and it would be really dry without this yogurt sauce as well. So that's kind of pulling this one through for me. But even with the yogurt sauce, it's still really not doing it for me, unfortunately. It's not that great. And I feel like it's also a weird thing to kind of have on an appetizer sampler, like just chicken. Like, I feel like they could have maybe included something else on this. And now for the final dish on our sampler, the grilled lamb kefta. This has a tzatziki, radish, and a blistered cherry tomato. I've of course got plenty of that tzatziki on here. We'll see how this one is. I know this might come as a bit of a surprise since I don't typically like any type of white sauces, but I actually love tzatziki sauce. And again, I feel like the sauce is what's carrying this dish here. The lamb is a little bit dry. It's not very moist like it should be. It's pretty dried out, and it's very spicy. Beware, there is a kick. There's a good kick. It's spicy in a good way. It's just overall just a little bit too dry. And again, I feel like the sauce is just carrying it. Without the tzatziki, this would not be good. Well, guys, it is rough out here at Spice Road Table so far, which I had kind of figured it would be after my last 2 times dining here. So yeah, we're pushing through. This is kind of why it took me so long to do this, so long into the series to do this restaurant, because I really did not want to come here, to be honest. But we're pushing through. I just put in my next round. I'm going to kind of do this in rounds. So we got the sampler first, and our next round is going to be some of the plant-based dishes. Starting with the pomegranate chili crispy cauliflower. This has a red pepper Aleppo sauce for 11 bucks. Now, I originally had 0 plans of ordering this cauliflower, but then I saw someone at the table across from me get it, and it looked so good. My server said it was actually his favorite thing on the menu, so I figured, gotta try it out. And hopefully it tastes just as delicious as it looks. We're gonna try it without the sauce first. Okay, that is really good. Now, they are not joking when they say crispy fried cauliflower. This is super crispy, and I was a little worried because, you know, it's like tossed in a sauce. So a lot of times when like places do that, it loses its crispiness, but not here. This is super, super crispy. And the sauce kind of reminds me of like an orange chicken sauce. Like, it's very similar to some type of like Asian sauce that you would find on like any type of like Asian chicken, like maybe like a sweet and sour sauce. It's like a mix of a sweet and sour sauce and like a sauce on an orange chicken, I believe. So it's tangy, it's sweet, and it's really, really delicious. I have a feeling it's gonna pair perfectly with the spicy pepper sauce. That combo is perfection. This is absolutely delicious. I would even say this is hands down the best thing I've ever eaten at Spice Road Table in any of my times coming here. And this is vegan, guys. If you are vegan and you're in Epcot, you must come here to try this, because this is probably one of the better vegan dishes at Disney World. The sauce isn't overly spicy. It adds just the right amount of a kick. And I'm not quite sure how authentic this is to Morocco. I can't imagine it really is, because it definitely reminds me more of like a Chinese dish or a dish that you would get at like an American sports bar. But nonetheless, this is fantastic, and I would definitely order it again. This is surely going to be tough to follow up, but next we are trying the house-made hummus fries with a citrus chipotle sauce and preserved lemon. Now, these house-made hummus fries is kind of what Spice Road Table is known for. I would say it's probably their most popular dish on the menu. They actually had it at the booth outside for one of the festivals, maybe Food and Wine, a couple of years ago. I don't believe they have it anymore, but this I would definitely say is one of the most popular dishes, so I figured I had to try it out. I don't think I've ever had it before, actually. Like I mentioned, this is another one of their plant-based offerings on the menu here, so we're gonna try it out without sauce first. I wasn't really sure what to expect when I got these hummus fries. I expected it to more be like creamy hummus inside, and it's more of like a bread-like substance inside. Almost similar to maybe a falafel. It kind of reminds me, this might sound really weird, it kind of reminds me of like stuffing, like Thanksgiving stuffing inside here, and then fried. I will say it's really crispy, it's nice and salty, but it does kind of just taste like fried stuffing. And this is served with a citrus chipotle sauce, and I'm assuming since it's plant-based, it is made with a vegan mayo, but still Vegan mayo does freak me out a little bit, but I figured it'd be really good with the red pepper sauce that was served with the cauliflower. So we'll go for a dunk in that and try it out that way. Add a little bit of spice. That little bit of spice from this sauce is exactly what this dish needed. I would order this again only if I could get this sauce with it. Without, again, a little bit dry. It's a very unique dish though, and unlike anything I've really tasted before, but you need that little spice for these hummus fries. The beauties of dining outside in Florida. There's this big spider on the pole next to me, and it's colored. And I'm just hoping it goes away really soon. Don't come back down, go away. I don't know how to get it off. Should I like use my menu and scrape it off? If it was like lower, I'd step on it with my shoe. Oh, it's definitely living on this pole. There's a whole spider web there. Well, that's great. Well, we've gotten our sampler, we've gotten our vegan dishes. Now it's time for some seafood. We are going to start by trying the fried calamari. This has a remoulade and a harissa sauce for $13. We've got to go for a dunk in the harissa sauce here, and this looks pretty good as well. The calamari is nice and lightly breaded and fried. It has a good crisp to it, and the breading is actually seasoned fairly well. It's a little bit salty, and of course the harissa sauce makes it even better. I'm pretty sure it's like the same sauce that they served with the cauliflower. My issue here is with the calamari on its own. The calamari itself is a little bit chewy, and maybe not like the best consistency. It doesn't taste very fresh, the calamari on its own. But the breading is really good. The sauce is really good. It's okay. I do like the charred lemon that it's served with a lot, as well as the red peppers that it's served with. And at $13, that's really not a bad price for this portion of calamari. Usually calamari is a bit pricey for an appetizer, but $13 for this amount really isn't bad at all. And finally, for our last appetizer of the evening, we have the spicy shrimp here. These have chili, garlic, and a peri-peri sauce for $14. Now this looks to be pretty dang spicy. This shrimp is a very bright red. Let's see how it is. It's actually almost more smoky than spicy, and honestly I'm getting a little bit of a sweetness in here. I expected this to be a bit spicier since it is so red and it is called spicy shrimp, so I was hoping for a really, really good kick from this, but it's not really delivering on the spice whatsoever. I'd say on a spice scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it maybe like a 3. So probably not my favorite. It just tastes like a shrimp and kind of like a red peppery sauce. It's also kind of a smaller portion. It's not awful or anything. It's just not spicy shrimp. And if I had to choose between the calamari and the shrimp, I'd definitely go calamari. Well, that is going to do it for us at Spice Road Table. I was actually planning on getting the dessert platter that they have there, but I was kind of in the fireworks viewing section, and they were getting ready to set up for their fireworks party, and I needed to get out of there, so I figured I'd come outside of Spice Road and grab some desserts from the little window here because I heard they were the exact same that they serve in there. And before I do head over and get my sweet treat, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about this firework viewing party that they've got going on at Spice Road Table. Now I knew obviously since you're outside right on World Showcase Lagoon, you would have an amazing view of the fireworks if you're dining outside there. And I had absolutely no idea that they had like a special ticketed event there. I thought you could just like dine there and pull up and watch the fireworks, which you can if you're at one of the tables kind of towards the back, but they do use those first 2 rows of tables for this special fireworks viewing party. But I did get some info on it because I am interested in doing it, and I figured you guys might be interested as well. So for $77, you could get a table on the first 2 rows on the water there, and each person in your party gets 2 plates, so 2 appetizers, and then you get kind of a shared dessert platter, but that is not the best part. It comes with unlimited beer, wine, and sangria. Again, total cost for that is $77, and they start seating for that at about 7:30. But let me know if any of you guys have ever done the fireworks viewing there at Spice Road. I'm kind of curious. I might have to check it out soon. Like I said, you can still see the fireworks from the other tables kind of in the back, but it's obviously just not as good of a view. But on to desserts, and we are here at Oasis Sweets and Sips. This is where you can kind of get a to-go beverage as well as some Moroccan pastries. I'm not sure if I've ever made a video on this before, but with the pastries, you could get 1 for $3, 3 for $6.75, 5 for $11.50, or 7 for $15.75. And there are a bunch of different pastries here to choose from. We've got some cookies on top, we've got a cake, and some more cookies down here. Of course, we've got to have some baklava, and then a bunch of other things. Well, I've got my little box of pastries here. I decided to go with the pick 3. I'll show you guys what I got, but I think we're gonna find a little hidden table in the back of Morocco to eat them. I have found a nice cozy little table. I love the Morocco pavilion. There's so many like great little nooks and crannies back here, little cozy areas to sit and stuff. Unfortunately, there's not much to do in the Morocco pavilion these days, but we are gonna eat our pastries back here, and I'll show you guys what I got. For one, I figured I had to try the pistachio baklava. I feel like that's probably one of the most popular desserts, so I had to try that one. This one, I asked what it was, and he said it's similar to an Italian wedding cookie, just Moroccan style with almonds. And then for the third one, I asked the cast member to choose his favorite, and he chose this almond sugar cookie kind of thing. I'm thinking these two might be kind of similar. They look very, very similar, but we're gonna see how these are. Baklava first. The nutty pistachios are great in there. There are a ton of layers, and they have what I believe is honey on the bottom. You can see kind of just, it's dripping. There's quite a bit of honey on the bottom that's adding a really good sweetness. Pretty good baklava. Now for the Moroccan Italian wedding cookie. This looked like it was gonna be a really soft cookie, so to my surprise, it's kind of hard and crumbly. The cookie itself is kind of bitter, but then there's a ton of powdered sugar on there that makes it sweet. A little too sweet for me almost. And finally, the cast member recommended almond sugar cookie, also completely covered in powdered sugar. Yep, this is the best one. The cast member led me in the right direction for sure. This is a very soft cookie. It almost reminds me of a pinoli cookie, just without the pinoles themselves. It's not overly sweet. Like I said, it has that almond extract flavor that is just delicious. The softness of this cookie, this is the best one out of the baklava and the one I tried. Well, it has turned out to be a beautiful evening in Epcot, and overall my meal was not as bad as I expected or remembered, mainly due to how good that cauliflower was. Seriously, I would go back for that cauliflower any day. But overall, I think Spice Road Table is a restaurant that's kind of in the middle lower level of the World Showcase restaurant pack. Unless you are a vegan, I think if you're vegan, Spice Road Table has to be one of the best restaurants to go to, because honestly, my vegan dishes were the best things that I ate the whole meal. And I would also say if you're not planning on dining outside, it's also probably not worth it. I would imagine sitting inside would kind of kill the vibe, because the food isn't the best. The food isn't the highlight of dining there. The highlight of dining at Spice Road Table is the view and kind of eating outside and getting that whole Epcot ambiance in your dining experience. But that is it for tonight, and we only have 4 more World Showcase restaurants to get to. Can you even believe it? This series has flown by so fast. So if you're looking for a specific World Showcase restaurant, chances are I've already dined there. The only restaurants I haven't covered in this series so far are Tukumite, Monsieur Paul, Shikisai, and La Hacienda. So you guys know I'll be getting to those very, very soon. As always, a massive shout out to all of my Patreon subscribers. And if you guys like more honest Disney food reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm also putting the link to my playlist of all of my Epcot World Showcase dining series right here, so make sure you check that out as well. And I shall see you guys next time. Bye.